These are questions that have grammar usage. Hey internet, so a while back I made a video on friendship linked below, specifically on the making of friends and my genius in the process thereof. But I didn't really go far beyond that, and there's of course so much more to friendship than just the initial superficial ceremony of discovering mutual interest and commonality. You mean having things in common? Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it? Oh dear child, and you wonder why I'm the only one that talks to you. Whatever, what I'm trying to say is that friendship requires something more than just having things in common, because if that were the case, then we'd all be able to be friends, because as human beings we are incredibly and beautifully complex, and be it our internal being, our external experiences, our nature, our nurture, our propensity to densely populate sentences with alliterative characteristics, gun to our head, all of us could find something we have in common one way or another. Ugh. That was so many words. Why did I do that to myself? Anyway, if you don't believe or even understand what I'm trying to say, neither of which I would hold against you considering how absolutely scatterbrained I am at the moment, then consider why people talk about the weather or why people go on first dates to the movies. While neither of these things are necessarily ideal topics of conversation, they reflect the idea that common interest or experience is generally a safe topic to, at the very least, start from. So then you might be, but probably weren't asking, why can't we all just get along? If we have the potential and capacity to be friends, why aren't we? Now don't get me wrong here, after all, I would hate to be mistaken for an optimist. I do not believe that we should all be friends. In fact, that's very much the point of this video. And now I'm not saying that we should not try to be amicable and to love our neighbor, even using those things that we have in common to facilitate that. But the fact is that not all friendships, no matter their starting point, are good. Unfortunately, this is something I'm learning more and more, both as I'm getting older and as I'm forced to interact with a greater number and variety of people. As I've gone off to college, I have left best friends behind that I hardly see anymore. I have strengthened bonds with people that I hardly spoke with until we were hundreds of miles apart. I have made new, great friendships, but most importantly, I have learned what a good friendship looks like, and that getting out of a bad one is just as important as forming good ones. A good friendship is healthy, it's good for you, it makes you better without you trying or even wanting to be. A bad friendship, on the other hand, is exhausting. It can spoil the things you most love and make you resent that other person forever and always until college graduation do you part. And yes, having things in common is great. It not only gives you something to talk about or share in when you're just meeting someone, but it can also unite you when you're on opposite ends of the globe. It can be the topic that you turn to right after a fight, or when you know the other person doesn't want to talk about something that's going on in their life. It can be something you grow in or with, and so much more. It, whatever it actually is or means to you at this point, can be all of those things, but that same common interest or goal or history can also become toxic. Whether it starts out that way or not, a common interest can very easily be twisted into something negative. I think this is especially true when those common interests turn into competition, and further when that competitive air goes unaddressed, fading into the land of passive aggression. Oh my gosh, we get it. You're a poet, even on accident. Case in point, I can't even get along with myself for want of screen time. But what about you, internet? Are there any hobbies or interests that you find yourself making the most friends from? Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, are there any hobbies or interests you have that you find yourself maybe not getting along with most of the people that you meet who you kind of have that thing in common with? Did either of those sentences / interrogative sentences, I know what a question is, make sense grammatically? I know what grammar is too. I don't know, but I'm sure you'll let me know in the comment section down below with your responses to the actual question. Because correcting people's grammar incorrectly, that's what the internet's for, right? That one was not even related to the video. And I don't mind that, strangely. It's not what I wrote. But I think I like it better. Capacity and potential. And you wonder why I'm the only one that talks to you.